Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Hello everyone, happy Monday, Cyber Monday at that, and that was our question of the day today. Are you going to be making a purchase despite what's happening with Canada Post? You're saying nope.
I'm not. I did a little bit of the online shopping earlier in the week, and I even noticed then that the Canada Post thing was going to slow some stuff down. So I just avoided it altogether today.
Yeah, altogether. We still have time to let us know if you've made a purchase or if you're still planning on it. Let us know on our Primetime Local News social media accounts. But right now we're going to toss it over to Connor Chan, who is at the Aztec tree sale earlier today.
Thanks very much. I'm here down in Aztec Safety's parking lot where the Kinsman Christmas tree sale is happening. Of course, this is the third year that they've done it. And of course, all the money that is raised throughout this time goes towards various programs and organizations that the Kinsman Club of Lloydminster supports. You can tell everyone here is in the Christmas spirit because not only the lights and the Christmas trees, but also because I can't feel my face or I can't feel my hands, even though I have very thin gloves on. Well, we're going to have much more from Aztec and Kinsman later on in the show, but right now we're going to send it over back to the studio and check in with them.
The Lloydminster Fire Department is thanking the community after their 6th annual ALS rooftop campout. A total of $24,540.70 were raised for the ALS Society of Alberta. The money is going towards essential programs and services for those living with ALS. The Lloydminster Firefighters Association would like to thank all of those who supported and participated in the event and the business owners who let members in their doors to raise funds. Big Brothers Big Sisters is accepting volunteer services and donations. Giving Tuesday will be taking place at several different locations from 10 to 5 tomorrow. This is a chance for the community to get involved with the youth and give them their time for a donation to help make a difference.
Every bit that we get helps to provide the services to the families in our community. So whether it's a donation, whether it's a volunteer, whether it's somebody dropping off construction paper, it doesn't matter. It all goes to helping support the matches in our community.
There are currently 29 kids waiting for a mentor, and you can visit the Big Brothers Big Sisters website for details. Winter driving can be stressful, especially around the holidays, and in this week's retrospect, we take a look at the best way to prepare.
Traveling in winter weather has its hazards, even if nothing goes wrong. But should the unfortunate occur and you become stranded on the road, staying warm is your top priority.
The first signs of being hypothermic is shivering, and that's your first sign and that you are going to need to get some warmth very quickly. Frostbite to now in this temperature, you're only looking at 5-10 minutes and you're going to start feeling the effects if you're not dressed properly for it.
It's important to dress warmly, even if you are driving only a short distance, and to prepare for the worst.
One of the things I like to do is make sure I got a minimum half a tank of gas in there in case I happen to get stuck or whatever. Make sure you got extra clothing, boots, warm clothing, and that blankets in the car. Just in case something does go wrong, you never know when a vehicle will become stranded on the roadways.
Planning ahead and giving yourself extra time to get to your destination will reduce your chances of an accident.
Leave 5, 10, 15 minutes early so that you don't feel like you're rushed to get there, because sometimes if you're rushed, you speed, and in the road conditions you can't, your vehicle can't handle the ice or whatever that's on the road.
Something else that is good to be aware of is that if you do end up in the ditch, you can contact the RCMP and they will instruct you on what steps to take next.
I would suggest if you are stuck on the side of the road, you pull over as far as you can to the side of the road, you put your 4-way flashers on, and you can call for assistance then.
That's it for this week's Retrospect.
Retrospect this week is brought to you by Webb's Ford. Worth your while to drive the extra mile. Webb's Ford in Vermilion.
And now we're going to check in with Connor Chan at Aztec Safety.
All right, on this very cold evening, I'm joined by Jeff Mulligan, the Chief Operating Officer here at Aztec. Of course, behind us, you see a bunch of trees here at your lot, and a part of Kinsman. Talk about the relationship that you guys have had and how long that's been going on for.
Well, 3 years now, they've been using our corner here, and we've donated that for their use so they can have a high-profile location.
What does it mean for you as a company to give back to being a part of giving back to the community involved with your work with the Kinsman Club?
Well, the Kinsman Club is very locally focused. We're a locally owned organization, so any good they can do in the community is going to come back for us too.
Now, since it's Christmas trees, I want to ask you personally, are you a guy that likes to have a real tree or one of those fake synthetic plastic ones?
Well, we've been fake for a while at our house actually, so when you see these, it kind of inspires you to think about going back to the natural.
Have you seen a bigger amount of traffic of families and other people coming into the lot just to kind of see the support that they're giving here to the Kinsman Club?
We sure have, and it gets a little bigger every year, and I already seen it kick off this year.
All right, perfect. Well, Jeff, thank you so much for your time. I'll let you get back inside because it is very windy and very cold out here, but we're going to send it over back to the studio and see what's going on with them.
All right, thank you so much, Connor. Yes, that wind is definitely blowing out there. Currently, -6. Feels a lot cooler than that, but want to take a look at the satellite radar. Look at this. We have a lot of cloud cover and precipitation coming in from the west into our area, but looking to our watches and warnings, all of this, basically the whole side of your screen here is under a special weather statement. Now, this is nothing directly that we're going to see tonight, but all of these areas are in for some freezing rain starting tomorrow night as it makes its way from the west into our area. So we should be expecting that tomorrow evening. And then over here, Maidstone, North Battleford, and Macklin still under that fog advisory. So definitely take caution out there if you're hitting the roads, especially with that fog. And then tomorrow evening with that freezing rain. As we look to our numbers across the map, -6 here, currently -6 in Cold Lake, -4 for Athabasca, a little bit warmer at -1 in Edmonton, -4 for Edson, 4 degrees currently in Jasper. North Battleford sitting at -6, -7 for Saskatoon, and then a little bit cooler in Melfort at -10. As we look to the broadcast area, currently sitting at -6 in North Battleford, that cloud cover is going to continue. Gonna start to dissipate tomorrow as we get a mix of sun and cloud, mostly cloudy, and a high of -3 as the winds come out of the east. Cold Lake currently sitting at -6, and that cloud cover is going to continue. -7 overnight, and then there you go. There's that freezing rain warning. So you can see on your screen right there, ice is in the forecast for tomorrow evening. Starting tomorrow night, and then it could continue into the overnight. -4 there for the high. Lloydminster currently -6, -7 overnight, and then those clouds are going to dissipate a little bit, so we can get a little bit of sunshine tomorrow for a high of -3. Now tomorrow evening is when we're going to start to see that freezing rain start around the supper time. Starting and then continuing into the overnight, and then it's going to turn into snow. We're expecting 2 to 5 centimeters on Wednesday. So we need to get through these next few days, -2 on Thursday. But I'll have more details, including a look at your 7-day forecast, coming up a little bit later.
Welcome back. Another hot button topic is how often seed to seed the major cash crop. Gerard Lampo finds out why the oilseed debate is still ongoing.
We try to get the data from around the world and put it all together.
The shortening or tightening of rotations is just one of the things that Murray Hartman has noticed in his 17 years at the provincial helm with Alberta Agriculture and Forestry.
With canola growing much more frequently, and a 1 and 2 rotation is now very, very popular. Versus at the start of my career, most farmers had a 1 and 4 diversified rotation.
Hartman says the profits reign supreme, even though the science says there are problems like disease pressure with short rotations.
Why do we get such a different attitude towards short rotation from growers versus scientists? And yeah, there's a difference in time horizon. A scientists are looking at 10 or 15 years down the road and the impact on the industry versus a farmer saying, I'm worried about the next 5 years on my, bottom line and profitability.
Hartman turned to confirmation bias, dealing with filtering information.
What you perceive as good information or relevant information for you, it really depends on your already prevailing attitudes, and we are, like I said, we are drawn to information that confirms our existing beliefs.
Going forward, Hartman says we all need to look at being open to information that's different to what we believe.
If you can challenge yourself to realize that, you can all of a sudden say, okay, where are my strong opinions and my vulnerability to confirmation bias, and how can I counteract that to being a little more open now to information that's on the other side of the fence and make maybe a better decision.
With the economics as a background, he admits that especially where club route is concerned, there still isn't sufficient data to say what is the best rotation.
1 and 3 versus 1 and 4. I think it's really hasn't been enough information to give us confidence in having a really good recommendation yet.
Gerard Lampow, Primetime Local News.
That's it for your egg news. Sports is next, but first we'll take a look at those egg prices.
Every member of the City Centre Auto Body team has been through extensive training. We're constantly upgrading our team's education to reflect current collision repair technique.
Taking a look at your local sports now, the Lloydminster Comprehensive Barons are the 2018 Alberta Football Tier 2 champions after defeating the Holy Trinity Knights 22-7 in Fort Mac on Saturday. Lloyd Comp carried the undefeated record into cold and slippery conditions in Fort Mac, where the Knights led 7-1 after the first half. However, the Barons took over on both sides of the ball, getting plenty of production out of running back Nathan Zachariah and their offensive line. The Barons finished the season 14-0. And the Lakeland Wrestlers women's volleyball team bounced back from their first loss this season with a commanding sweep of the Augustana Vikings over the weekend. In the first match, the Wrestlers gave the Vikings no room to breathe from the service line, controlling the pace of play in each set, while Saturday was largely the same story. A lapse on serve receive put the squad in trouble, losing the third set 13-25 before bouncing back to clinch the match 25-19.
I don't think it's a secret as to how you're going to beat the Rustlers. That's the way, and you know it's uncharacteristic of how we usually play. But you know sometimes those things happen, and you know take a set off, take a breather, and then come back and work for the next one.
Getting the 2 wins keeps the Rustlers in a tie for first place and ends the semester on a high note, seeing results in how they prepared for the Vikings.
Our game plan worked to a T, so I feel like we were just very prepared and we controlled the ball and it was going our way.
The Wrestlers will face Augustana to start the second semester when they travel to Camrose on January 3rd. And the men's volleyball team also showcased bounce back in their performance over the weekend, defeating the Vikings 3-2 on Saturday to split the weekend. The Wrestlers struggled on Friday with a new lineup with libero Jean-Carlo Funzier and with an infection losing 3 straight. However, they managed to navigate a lopsided match the following evening where no set was ever very close.
Just the resilience and the trust that these guys have and the patience that they're showing, it just shows that they're starting to get a little more veteran and a little bit more, a little more experience.
It was a nice end to the semester for the team and a birthday present for right side Cole Sutherland.
It feels pretty good, you know, can't complain about it. Feels good to go out there with the guys and have a good atmosphere and end the semester with a W.
Lakeland is tied with Augustana for 3rd in the North Division at 7-5, 4 wins clear of 5th place. The Lloydminster Bobcats struggled to produce offensive against 2 of the league's top teams over the weekend. Friday night, the Brooks Bandits defeated the home team 3-1, while North Division rival Bonnyville took the next contest 4-1. The 2 teams will meet again, but on the Pontiac's home turf this Wednesday. Now we're going to send it back to Connor Chan at Aztec Safety.
Thanks very much. I'm joined by Matt Reed, who is one of the head organizers for the Christmas Tree Kinsman fundraiser. I know I probably didn't pronounce that correctly, but nonetheless, you are in charge. So just talk about the event and I guess how many years has it going on? Because it's been going on for quite a while.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure I can give you an exact number, but I know we've been at this for more than 40 years for sure as a Kinsman club, and you know, going back to our K40 partners as well, which is some of our members that have moved on to not as active in the group, but we've been doing this for definitely more than 40 years in the community.
That's fantastic. So talk about this batch of trees. Now you got these on Thursday, you're saying, and is this the only batch you guys are getting in, or are you getting one more or 2 more in?
No, this was our first batch. There was 620 that came in on Thursday, and then we got another couple hundred that'll come in on probably next Monday, on the 3rd of December. So.
And where do you get these trees?
The trees come out of the McKay Tree Farm in North Battleford. and most of them are locally grown there in North Battleford.
Now, one thing that I found really interesting is that this whole area, this whole lot it's all volunteer run. So just talk about the commitment that these volunteers give, with giving their time and efforts to help selling these trees and raising money.
Yeah, so we've got about 24 members on our club. So every guy picks up some shifts as we go along the way. We do have one individual who helps us during the day, Monday to Friday, from noon to 6, while our members are obviously working. And then yeah, it's our members and others that have supported the club through the years. If you were here on Saturday, you would have seen one of our members with his kids here during the day. So, it's a great family outing, and it's all run by local volunteers within the club. So.
That's really awesome. So what are the hours for the people at home, to tell the people at home so they can come down and check the trees out for themselves?
Sure. So we're open every day, Monday to Friday. We're open from noon till 9, and then Saturdays 9 to 9, so 12 hours, and Sundays from 10 to 6.
Now, I got to ask you, are you someone that likes a real tree or one of those plastic trees?
No, I'm a real tree guy. We've been doing this. I've been in the club for about 6 years, and we've had a real tree every year ever since, and I don't even have an artificial one at home anymore.
That's good. I got to get on that train because I have one of those fake ones. But thanks a lot. No, thank you very much. Well, thanks, Matt. We'll have more from Matt coming up later on in the show, but right now we're going to send it over back to the studio and see what's going on with them.
Thank you so much, Connor. There we go. I'm definitely team real tree out there. Look at this shot, the gorgeous shot of that fog that we saw earlier yesterday, and then into, or I guess yesterday was Sunday, and then into this morning even. Look at these watches and warnings currently in effect. Areas like Maidstone, North Battleford, Macklin, St. Walburg still under that fog advisory as it came from the west, and then everywhere basically else on the screen is under a special weather statement, and this is due to some freezing rain that is in the forecast for tomorrow. So they have put out a special weather advisory, even though it's not immediately in effect, but definitely keep an eye out on the roads tomorrow evening, as that's when we are expecting that freezing rain to start, which will then turn into snow. Currently at our numbers though, -6 here in the border city, -5 in Vermilion, -4 in Vegreville, a little bit warmer at -1 in Edmonton. And then as we move up the map, -6 for St. Paul, -5 in Bonnyville, -6 in Cold Lake, -4 currently in Lac-La-Biche. And then over on the Saskatchewan side, -7 in Maidstone, North Battleford sitting at -6, and then -6 up in St. Walburg as well. Up north, a little bit cooler, -10 for La Ronge, -7 in Buffalo Narrows, and also in La Loche. For McMurray sitting at -4, -5 for Slave Lake, and then a little bit warmer at -1 in Grand Prairie. And then as we look down south, these are the numbers we wish we had here. So 1 degree in Medicine Hat, 7 degrees currently in Lethbridge, 3 for Calgary, -3 in Coronation. Regina sitting at -9 and -5 for Moose Jaw. Just want to look at the next 24 hours as we look at that precipitation that is coming. So here it is starting in the west. It's not really looking like it's moving, but it is. We are going to be seeing that freezing rain tomorrow evening into the overnight, and then that's when it will taper off. And then we're going to see some snow numbers, though not too bad. We are going to be above the seasonal average, hitting a daytime high of -3 tomorrow, -2 for Vermilion, 0 for Vegreville. Edmonton sitting at 0 tomorrow, -2 for Maidstone. Wainwright going to hit -1. Provost Macklin above the freezing mark tomorrow, sitting at 3 degrees. So numbers not too bad, but we are going to be seeing quite a bit of snow and that freezing rain tomorrow evening. -5 at 8 a.m. in the morning. Going to feel like -17 though once you factor in that wind. And then we're going to see the clouds start to dissipate throughout the day a little bit. So -5 over the recess, -4 over the lunch hour, and then -3 when the kids head home. -3 is our daytime high tomorrow, -7, and then tomorrow evening is when we start to see that freezing rain. Gonna be starting around the supper hour, going into the overnight, and then turning into snow. We could see 2 to 5 centimeters on a Wednesday. Only -2 though, and that's the same number on Thursday. Much sunnier, and then the clouds come back in for the weekend. So -3 on Friday. Saturday sitting not too bad number-wise, -4, and then Sunday -8. So we get back into those cooler numbers. And then we have a 50% chance that we could see some more snow next Monday, and then -10 for the daytime high. All right, well, with today being Cyber Monday and obviously the Canada Post strike that is probably going to end tomorrow, but it's still a huge backlog. So that was our question of the day. Will you be making an online purchase for Cyber Monday despite the backlog? And we did put out a poll. 74% of you said no. So I think a lot of people were on team like, no, I'm just going to either, shop in person or just kind of avoid that, because if you're getting Christmas gifts, it's not guaranteed that you'll get it there. And this is, you avoided it.
Yeah, I avoided it partially because of that and partially because I just didn't want to start spending crazy amount of money on Cyber Monday. But yeah, lots of it was because if I was going to buy, then I didn't want to have to wait for the delay and when is it actually going to get here and all that stuff. So,
a couple of the comments that we got on our Facebook page saying kind of yes and no. Jennifer said she's ordered online since they announced the strike will be over in a day or two, but there is still going to be that backlog. Donna says she's purchased online, just not shipping with Canada Post to avoid the delay. And then Janice says she's already had some packages canceled because of the strike.
Yeah,
so it's definitely, I guess, just take your risks. Maybe the deals are worth it. You just have to wait 6 months to get your package.
Hope not.
Yeah, we always ask a question of the day, so you can always weigh in on our social media pages. But right now we're going to turn to our pets of the day because it's our favorite part. This is Ollie. Ollie, the border collie.
Aww.
This was sent to us by Janice. Super cute. Next up we have V. This is a really cute photo that was sent to us by KJ. Thank you for sending that one in. This is Cuddles and Waffle. I like how Cuddles is plural and Waffle is not. Yeah, that was sent to us by Bev. Great names though. This is Franklin. Franklin is ready with this sweater. That was sent to us by Maria. And then last but of course certainly not least, we have Sadie. Sadie cuddled up with her favorite toy there, and that was sent to us by Lucille. If you would like to see your pet here on Primetime Local News, you can send us a photo. Please include their name and you will be entered to win a gift card to the Lloydminster Pet Pad.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram to have them featured on Pet of the Day. Your name will be entered into a weekly draw for a gift certificate from the Pet Pad.
Hey, it's Toasty for Real Country 97.7, and here's what's happening in St. Paul and area. Time is ticking for my glorious mustache as we near the end of the month. This Friday, there's still time to help me reach my goal of $200 this month, and as you can see, it's beautiful and it deserves to reach that goal. So if you'd like to give me a hand, check out the link below. Support? If not, that's totally fine as well. We can all just enjoy the mustache together. And going on this Saturday, the St. Paul FCSS and County of St. Paul Elk Point FCSS is getting into the spirit of Christmas by hosting the first ever Christmas tree lighting. They plan to make it an annual event. There's going to be hot chocolate to warm you up, candy canes for your taste buds, and caroling for the soul. This all happens at 6 o'clock at the UFO landing pad. The St. Paul FCSS Meals on Wheels is also in need of individuals and groups. If you feel like the kind of person who wants to volunteer, help out, or even just help bring some folks in the community who are aged, ill, or immobile a hot meal at the noon hour from Monday to Friday, then that's perfect. If you want to join in, make sure you call the number below and become a great volunteer. Help someone out. The Cradle to Crayon Coalition is back with another event on Wednesday. Join them for Busy Kits at the Portage College from 6 till 7. Lanoya is going to help you create your own Busy Kit, which is great because it's going to keep your kids aged 1 to 6 creatively busy and entertained while you're out and about doing your thing. If you're interested, registration is required, so make sure you call Lanoya, whether it's for more information or to register, at the number below. And finally, it's your last week to get your application in for the St. Paul Fire Department and become a volunteer firefighter. I've already put my application in. Some of the things they need is a Class 5 driver's license, good health, and a clean criminal record. You can find these events and more at our website, realcountrystpaul.ca. If you've got something going on you'd like to get out into the community, email me, toasty@realcountry.ca.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
Welcome back, Josh Bucky, back again to talk sports. We're going to switch gears to the professional side of things. And most Canadians across the country, we're watching the Grey Cup this Sunday. The Calgary Stampeders, finally champions after really dominating the regular season for several years.
Yeah, you don't know. Like now, are they a dynasty? But there was a sense of relief
more than anything. It was not their excitement. You know, they win the Grey Cup, but at the same time, there's a sense of relief because if they don't win that game, there's going to be a lot of questions on the Calgary Stampeders. Why can't they win that big game? So instead of you losing it 3 straight years, they finally win it. And you know what? And was that game ever in doubt? I don't think it really was. Calgary Stampeders looked like they were in control right from the start to the end. The disappointing for me, the field was horrible. Like they're like they were playing in a parking lot, and they were sliding all over the place. So a couple of things I think the CFL has to look and seriously have to have that question. Does the season start a month earlier, or do you just maintain the field a little better? Instead of worrying about what's happening on Jasper Ave and Grey Cup Festival, maybe worry about the football field and make sure that it's not frozen when you play it on Sunday.
And honestly, if you start the season a little bit earlier, you can still get the final to happen after the baseball season. Obviously, the NFL is always going to be something you compete against, the NHL, the NBA, mostly the NHL. But the main issue is if you avoid that World Series window, you can still have a set of time where you have kind of some time to yourself for the Grey Cup.
Well, a couple things comes into play too. If you start in May, you have the NHL playoffs at that time. And not just the fans, you have networks that are broadcasting. So now you have that dilemma: what do we cover, and what do we broadcast? So a lot of questions have to be played. Are they going to make any changes? I really doubt it. Next year's Grey Cup is in Calgary. We know they can get Chinooks, and we know they can also get a lot of snow and can get cold. So next year's going to be fun again.
It will be indeed, and I'm sure the Calgary Stampeders fans hope to see their team back in the Grey Cup. It's always exciting when the host team gets to compete for that championship. Edmonton Oilers making a change just shortly after we had talked last week. And similar to how we were talking about how the Bobcats change takes time, this is probably going to take some time as well. Ken Hitchcock coming in to replace Todd McLellan. Kind of a tough go for McLellan considering how much turmoil this franchise has been in for a decade, but they weren't performing this far into the season.
No, and they went down south. They had 3 games in down south in California, lost a bad one in LA on Sunday. They didn't look very good. Ken Hitchcock made a statement, I think day 1, into coaching the Oilers. Some players are going to be very uncomfortable the message I'm going to be sending to them. Yeah, there's going to be some uncomfortable players for the Oilers. That's the way Ken likes to coach. So Hitch will tell them to play defense first, offense second. So we'll see what happens.
Okay. Now let's rapid fire for this last minute. So your 10-second thoughts on Tiger Phil over the weekend.
Don't care. Millionaires playing for $1 million. Phil arrived in his own jet. Who cares?
Yeah, fair enough. Blood Bandits only 1 game, but got a quick win against the Cold Lake Ice.
Yes, big win against Cold Lake. Back on the road again and kill them on Friday.
Okay. And to end things, give me a promo for this week's sports show. It's an exciting one.
Yeah, Tuesday night sports show live from the Canadian Brew House on Real Country 95.9 at 6 o'clock. We'll have members of the Lloyd Comp Barons live with us. Also live with us, Bull Rider Cody Coverchuck from the Bull Riders Canada Finals, and also Jim Toth from TSN Radio in Winnipeg. Patrick Laine went off on the weekend. He'll talk about that. And also our 3-time Grey Cup champion, Paul Waldo, our football insider, will be in as he breaks down the Grey Cup.
You guys don't want to miss that show. So you can catch that tomorrow night. What time again?
6 o'clock to 7 o'clock, Real Country 95.9.
Thank you very much. And that's it for us. And we'll have more on Primetime Local News.
Well, that's going to do it for us here at Aztec Safety. Everybody in the border city is getting into the Christmas spirit, especially with all these trees surrounding me, all the frost, all the decorations, and also the fact that I can't feel my ears anymore after being outside for a substantial amount of time. Now, all the money that is raised from this sale are going to go towards organizations that the Kinsman Club of Lloydminster supports, and they do a great job supporting various organizations throughout the border city. Now, some of the hours for the tree sale, it's weekdays from 12 to 9, Saturday from 9 to 9, and as well Sunday from 10 to 6. Prices vary because on the height, so whether you want to get that 8-footer, 10-footer, or over 10 feet, whichever you choose to do, I hope you find the right tree for you. Well, we're going to send it over back to the studio for them because I need to go inside before my ears fall off, and we'll see what's going on with them.
All right, Connor. Well, you should have wore a hat. Yeah, we have no sympathy. No, we're just kidding. Tomorrow night, we are under a special weather advisory, though, because we could be seeing some freezing rain tomorrow evening into the overnight and then 2 to 5 centimeters of snow on Wednesday. So everybody bundle up, but that's it for us tonight. We'll see you right here tomorrow.